Okay, you ready to go?
Hang on, I need to wet the whistle.
Shibba wabba 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 shoo.
There's no H in wet, but I thought I'd say it.
CPOD. Press enter to begin.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to CPOD.
And when one door closes, another Dorian opens.
Oh my god. I was wondering where that was going for a second.
It was a joint effort.
Alright, I'll give you that.
It was a joint effort. As it may be apparent, we're also, of course, we're joined by our regular co-host and slash host, Dorian, but we're also joined by my wife, Lauren.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, I'm just going to backtrack for a second there. Were you about to say slapper?
What?
I heard and then you stopped there for a second.
No, I'm not that brave. She sat next to me.
No, not about your wife, idiot. Me.
Oh, right. Okay.
I'm joined by my co-host, Dorian. That's what I heard.
No. Oh, he's made himself laugh. He's stuck now. He's gone.
God.
We lost him.
Yeah, well, it's because there's two of us. He's dying. Just go introduce Dorian and just call him a slapper. Yeah, it's brilliant.
I just love how you immediately went, no, I'm not going to call my wife that. You never even, oh my god, I never even alluded to that. Oh my god,
So,
that was funny.
Welcome, Lauren. Dorian's called you a slapper, or insinuated it.
I'm glad I joined.
What a welcome.
Oh dear. I'm sweating.
How are you, Dorian,
wow.
other than the sweating and the laughing?
I'm, you know what, I'll take this over the emotional wreck that I've been over the past couple of days because I completed Death Stranding 2.
Okay.
And what an emotional journey that was. Because it was, the ending was great, and I think it ended where it should have ended. And I thought, you know what, couldn't have wrapped that up any other way. That was fantastic. But it is a game that tugs on your heartstrings from start to finish. So I'm going to hold my hands up and say that I sat through the entire 2.5 hour Kojima-esque cutscene that it was, because it was a long ending, as is his way. But not only was it the story that made me cry towards the end, because it was very nicely wrapped up, and there's some win and there's some loss. But at the end of it, as everyone knows, I was Death Stranding made me a Low Raw fan. I went to go see Low Raw when he was still around. Unfortunately, he passed away from complications to leukemia, I think it was, at the age of 40. He wasn't very old at all, but I've met the guy. And there's a dedication to him at the end of the credits in Death Stranding 2 that said dedicated to Low Raw, which made me tear up a little bit. So, yeah, after this, the emotional wreck that has been this weekend, I'm down for a bit of a laugh, so thank you for that.
That's right. Meanwhile, you know, when you say what we've been playing, I'm going to be like, oh, Mario. You know, it's quite a contrast, really, isn't it? But yeah, so what else?
Yeah, how are you guys?
Oh, yeah, we're good, thank you.
Oh, go on, sorry.
Yeah, we're good. We've just got back from Leeds Gaming. Leeds Gaming Market. I don't know why I got confused because we're booking the next one, so I got the places confused. So we've bought lots, been playing lots. So we are well. What have you been playing? Have you just Death Stranding?
No, so I'm trying to pick up my Mega Drive just a little bit more whenever I've got 10, 15 minutes spare. I've not played any more Dino Crisis 2 as of yet, and I've put everybody's golf down because my week this week has been trying to complete Death Stranding. So that's in the bag, great. And of course, because I've started this little journal, I wrote down my thoughts on a dedicated page, gave it a little rating. But I did something the other day that I have never done before. So I've got, on my Mega Drive, I've got one of those little like 6-in-1 game carts, and on it is Super Monaco GP. And obviously, the career mode is much longer, but if I've got 10 minutes, I thought, you know what, I'll just have a quick little race, see if I can be any faster or get any further. And I have no idea how or why I did this, but I completed the arcade mode. I have never done that before. I've not picked this game up in absolutely forever, and all of a sudden, I just whacked it at the park and just completed arcade. I was like, oh, okay, that's only taken me 35 years to do, but bonus. So I don't know whether or not I should scratch that off my list as well.
I think. Lauren, what do you think? I think that counts.
I think that counts. I'd give him that.
Put it on your list. Put it on the list.
I mean, You know what? Yeah, you're right. It's going on the list. I think that's an achievement. So, yeah, primarily this week, focused on Death Stranding, and just as a little bonus, completed arcade mode for Super Monaco GP on the Mega Drive or the Genesis to our US fans. How about yourselves? What you guys been playing?
So I'm a little bit like you, Dorian, whereas recently I have just finally completed the first Death Stranding, which obviously very similar to Death Stranding 2 is quite emotional and quite heavy hitting. So I've definitely now gone for a more cosy vibe. And there's a couple of games I've been playing recently, but the main two are I'm currently on the Switch 2 playing Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar. So that is like a farming life simulation game where you move to a new town, of course you do, that's how all these games start, and you basically are trying to make its market back to its former glory. So every week you hold this bazaar, and every week you're there to sell things to other people and basically level it up, and it's really good fun. You can grow crops, raise farm animals, you can do cooking, mining and crafting, all for things to sell at it, and it's just a really cosy element. It's got quite a nice simple gameplay loop. But yeah, I'm enjoying that, and I'm also playing 2 Point Museum, so I'm sticking on the same vibe. I love a 2 Point game, I just think they get the humour down to a T. But obviously this time you're designing and building your own museum, and I really like this one because it's a little bit different than the previous entries where you just kind of work your way to unlock everything. This time you have to actually send different experts off on expeditions. So you choose like where they're going to go on an expedition, and you have certain criteria to meet, such as like you must send somebody who's got survey skills, or you must send somebody who is good at fixing things, and they will go off and they'll actually uncover the new exhibits to put in your museum. And I just think that's a really cool element. And then obviously it's got the gameplay loop, because the first time you might find it might be average quality, and as you go and explore that area more and more, you can then get like pristine exhibits, and that increases your buzz rating at the museum, which gets more money, more people. But it's just really cosy and really good. I'm in my cosy girl like gaming era again, I think.
What I like about that game is I've been playing other stuff, and then the humour in it. So when they're like, it's almost like an announcer, isn't it? The museum will say like if people are. Can you remember any of the quotes? But some of them are hilarious that just catch you off guard.
Yeah, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but some have definitely caught us off guard where we just sat and giggled to ourselves. It's quite amusing.
Have you ever played any of them, Dory? Like Two Point Hospital?
I like a game with... I've not, no, but I do like a game with a good sense of humour. I think for me, Medieval is probably that game where I go in to have a laugh. But no, 2 Point. What else have they done? Because I don't think I have played a 2 Point game before.
They've done 2 Point Hospital, which is basically like a reboot of Theme Hospital. If you remember that back in the day, everybody loved and played Theme Hospital. Do. Yeah, it's one of the classics, one of the best games. And then they also did a 2 Point Campus, so that's to do with like building your own university. That one wasn't quite as popular as the hospital one, but they're all really good games. I'd really recommend them.
Excellent. How about yourself, Phil?
I've been playing... Well, the funny thing is, so, I try to push Nintendo on everyone, but Lauren's actually been playing a lot of Sony stuff as well, so at least this is going to, mix up this episode a little bit. But funnily enough, I've been playing a lot of Nintendo. Yeah. So I've been playing Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. So I ordered those controllers that we spoke about. Obviously, I've got the N64 ones. I've been playing that and absolutely loving it. I mean... I think Lauren will agree. I just go quiet for about 2 hours and just play it.
He turns into a little child.
It's brilliant. I love it. So good. I've been playing the Duke Nukem game that we were talking about. It's on Switch. I think is it Duke Nukem 3D? I don't know why that was so hard to remember, considering it's just his name with 3D slapped onto the end of it.
But there's so many versions of that, though. You've got the latest one, which is like some kind of legacy collection or something like that, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah. It's like got all the gyro features as well, which is quite cool. And other than that, just Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, I want to say it is, on Switch. That's going to be my like chill game. But yeah, we have got a lot to... I'll tell you what we'll quickly go through. Bear with me just 1 second. Whilst I'm looking at a photo, Lauren, have you been playing anything else as well? Because I think you've got a slightly longer list I can see at the corner of my eye.
How sneaky, having a little look at my list. I didn't authorise that. How dare you? The other one I've been playing is we've recently... well, actually, I think it was Dorian that told you that actually we realised that PS3s actually play PS1 games, which we did not know.
Yeah.
So we've plugged...
Yeah, all of them backwards compatible. It's they're a bit jarring, but the PS3 does a semi-decent job of trying to upscale it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're all right.
We've realised that now. So I've now got the PS3 Slim. I know, unpopular opinion. I'm sorry, everybody.
Super Slim.
Sorry, Super Slim. Oh, God, all right. There's no need, is there? Same thing. Slim, Super Slim. We don't fat shame on this podcast.
She's already taken over. One of our listeners, Mr. Parrott, said this had happened. It's already happened.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yep.
But yeah, I've plugged that into my monitor at the desk, and I have been trying to play through Rayman, which made me very angry last night. I would like to also add, because I remember as a kid, that's like... There's 2 games I really remember seeing my dad play, and one of them was Rayman. And as a kid, I could never beat it. So now, obviously, I'm not a child. I'm trying to use my big girl adult skills and try and complete it. But so far, I'm not very far, I'll be honest.
I have a copy on my PlayStation Classic, so I don't own a physical one. It just came with the Classic. And I do remember trying to play it, and that game is punishingly difficult, especially since it was advertised as a kids game. I believe it was even a PlayStation launch title that was maybe intended for the Saturn, but they swapped. And that game's impossible. It's a good platformer that's very colourful, it plays smoothly, but it's just impossible to do, impossible to play, because if you mistime a jump, you're sent either all the way back to the beginning or the checkpoints are about halfway through. But the size of the levels themselves are so long, and so much can go wrong in between those checkpoints. We're like, you know what? I've not got the patience to try this again. Yeah, they're maddeningly difficult.
I agree. And I'm coming back to levels as a kid that I think I spent hours upon hours trying to defeat these levels. And I can't even remember if I managed to as a kid. But there was one of them last night, and it's quite an early on level, but it's kind of like a side level, where basically this little gold creature gives you the ability to be able to grow plants. And you have to basically grow these plants and jump up to the top as this water is rising, and you've got to try and escape before drowning, essentially. And oh my goodness, I nearly snapped the controller in half. But I did it, so I'm taking that as a win.
I don't think I've ever seen that level before, but I know full well that would make me put my controller through the screen. Well, that sounds so bad.
Well, talking about hard games, one of the games that I bought today was Tarzan on Game Boy Color. And it's interesting. So just to, I guess, whiz through it really quickly. So I bought a Squirtle special themed IPS modded Game Boy Advance, which is awesome. I'm really happy with it. It did have a few issues out the box, we're not going to lie. So firstly, it's like the power button goes beyond being on. So the LED goes from green to red instantly. So it's slightly dodgy. I'm going to need to look at that. For now, you can kind of slide it on but not put it on all the way, and it seems to be okay. The screen was like completely green when we got it, and there's supposed to be a menu you can cycle through, and I couldn't work it out for the life of me, and to be honest, I started to get a bit annoyed with it. Turns out that someone's put the touch sensor, not behind the screen like all of the video says, but like rammed into the top of the Advance, so it was just literal trial and error of touching the device hoping I could find how to do it. Anyway, so I've got that. So so I just want to run through very quickly just some of the Nintendo games that I've got on my backlog, just so you all know what you're going to be listening to for the next 12 months. So, Pokemon Blue, I found a legit copy, paid £40 for that. So I've got my original Pokemon, that's my childhood in there. There were no good Game Boy Colors, I would say. IPS screens, were there really? We've got one here, we've got an original Game Boy Color here, and I think I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
What I might try to do is, with some Dorian's sort of camera help advice, I might actually see if I can mount it and disassemble it and record it and maybe upload it onto our YouTube channel, Courtesy Enthusiast. So I've got that.
I would 100% watch that. That sounds like a lot of fun.
I would like to do that. That'd be good. In terms of other games then, so I've got Dr. Mario, we've got Super Mario Land 2, Lauren picked that up. We've got Pokemon Crystal for Lauren, obviously Tarzan, but then the Wii steps up. So I've got Wii Animal Crossing, Wii Super Mario Galaxy, Wii Super Mario Brothers Wii, and Wii Super Paper Mario. But the main thing that I'm doing is obviously I've got through all my Xenoblade games, and I could start the whole Final Fantasy, but I'm finding I'm enjoying Ocarina of Time so much that I really want to get into the rest of the Zelda games. So I've also bought Twilight Princess to start after Ocarina of Time.
Very nice. That's pretty cool. That's those prices aren't awful, because I saw that you had some of the stickers like on them still, and £40 for an OG Pokemon Blue, especially at a market, which means it's come from an independent trader. You'd expect it to be much more expensive, but I don't think £40's a bad shout for a game like that.
There was quite a few, to be fair, and I mean, what I really liked, there's some traders we went up to, and I was looking at the game, so I've got to admit, full credit to Lauren. I say this when she sat next to me, I was slagging her off last week.
Less brave now, aren't you? Weird, that.
Ha ha ha. Oh, we laughed. Anyway. So, but yeah, I was looking at it. So Lauren taught me that basically you look at the TM at the top, where it says next to the Game Boy Color or whatever, but also on the actual, where the sticker is, there's like numbers stamped into like the sticker. And so you can see it. So I was trying to look at the card, and this trader just leant over and was like, "The fakes, mate. They're £14." You know, I was so fair play. I liked the honesty. So then, yeah, we went round. There was a boxed one for £80, and I did nearly get it, but it was like, again, we have so much stuff on show. We've just redone, like, well, Lauren again is pretty much redone half the living room to put all of our new, you know, like figures and all sorts on show. So I was like, yeah, I'll just stick with that one. But yeah, so yeah, and then, as I say, I've got Pokemon, and it's going to be Pokemon and just main Zelda. That's what I'm going for now for this year, to add to the completed games, multiple Zelda games. So that is basically, I think, all I've been playing. Lauren, have you got anything else? Is that your list well done?
Well, I'm just going to take over the podcast a little bit here, you know, because people said I would. I was just going to add to that I got myself a couple of Final Fantasy bits. So I got a little Cloud minifigure and a couple of 3D printed signs. So I got one that's just the Final Fantasy logo and one that's like the pixel art version of Cloud. And then I got Tarzan for the PS1, because I remember having that game as a kid. And I also got Hercules for the PS1, as that brings me on to our first topic of games that have no right being good. And you'll see how this seamlessly flows into one. Because my first game on that is a game that I played on a demo disc, the same way that I first played Hercules. And it was on a red demo disc. And other titles on the demo disc included Crash 3, Gran Turismo, Spyro, and Medieval. But what game am I talking about? I'm talking about Cooler World.
Cooler World? I've never heard of that.
What?
Oh, you will have.
I'm mortified right now.
Do you remember the beach ball? It's like a beach ball that rolls along like big cubes.
Oh!
Cooler World.
I played something similar on a PC. I don't think I ever played it for the PlayStation 1, but I have played something similar. Before we go any further, however, I just want to reflect on something that's just happened. Lauren, I don't think anyone on this podcast has ever so seamlessly and smoothly just dove straight into the first topic, flowing from one conversation to another like that. Anytime that me and Elliot try to do it, we always go, no, you first, sir. Oh, all right, well, blah, 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 blah. That was just absolutely beautiful. So thank you so much for that. That was brilliant. And I think, yeah, me and Elliot are out of a job. I think this is just Lauren's podcast from now on.
I'll take that. I'll take over. But I'm more mortified that you've never played Cooler World on a demo, to be honest with you.
My bad.
Thanks for your compliment, but get out.
This is one of those games, right? It has no right being a good game. It was a 3D puzzler game where, as Elliot said, you basically control a beach ball around a puzzle to retrieve keys and navigate to the exit of the level within a set amount of time. And to be fair, I only ever got to play the demo because, you know, when you're a kid, you can't afford all the games. But I do remember trying to go everywhere. I remember going in game stations when I was a kid with my mum, dragging her in, even though she didn't really get games, trying to buy this game and could not find it anywhere. And obviously now you've got no hope of buying a copy because it's a very, very expensive game. And it's just a game that I would love to play and complete, but I would never pay the money for it. and it just had no right being good. Who said a beach ball floating around a little world would be a great game? But it was. You think of the other demos on that demo disc, and which one did I play? I played the one with the little beach ball. It's madness, really.
So just a quick question: how much does it? How much can you pick it up for nowadays? A legit copy?
Oh, do you know what? I don't know off the top of my
look
head. I did
day.
look the other day. Let me have a quick.
While she's
look.
looking, I'll just quickly go through my list then. So my list is quite short. Games that have no right being good. I would first of all start off with, and this is a weird one, and it's non-Nintendo, which we're all shocked by, is
what?
the original RuneScape. Oh my god, that was like a whole era of my teenage years.
That's fair.
Just, because again, you describe that to someone and it sounds terrible. You play it, it's phenomenal. My other two I'll quickly reel off is Dr. Mario, as we touched on. A game I've only recently found. I thought it was solid and I would have put it down until Lauren basically was watching going, you didn't realise you're supposed to match that up with... And I was like, what? No, you don't. Did it and it instantly worked. And then the other game would be Golden Compass on DS. It is such a bad game. Yes, JB, I know, I'm admitting it. It is such a bad game. But there's something about it that I really enjoyed and I completed it. So that's my shortlist. So sorry, Lauren, what's the price of Cooler World going for on PlayStation 1?
If you look in CEX, it is currently £125.
Oh, that's eye-watering. Good God.
Yeah, that's not... I'd love a copy of that, but realistically, I ain't paying for it £125 for a beach ball game. It's not happening. As good as the game is, absolutely not.
So Dorian, what about you? What games that have no right being good are on your list?
See, I suppose when it comes to gaming, I'm a bit more sort of like the commercial side, and I tend to go for the AAA games, the well-received games. I don't really have anything that's kind of underground, as it were, where people go, "Oh my god, this is brilliant," whereas everyone else has just kind of bypassed it. So I've been a bit stuck for this one. The only game that really comes to mind that stands out for what it is Batman Begins for the PS2.
Oh, what a game!
The reason I say that is, yeah, exactly, right. So the reason I say that it's got no right to be that good is because it's a licensed game. Like, if you play any other game that's been based on a film, most of the time they're just kind of cheap cash-ins. But this game has almost all of the cast from the film. So you've got Christian Bale, you've got Cillian Murphy, you've got Michael Caine, you've got Katie Holmes, the full cast. And it is a bit cheesy in places. And the voice acting is a bit weird as well, but only because these are like big Hollywood actors, and I don't think they've been in a scenario where they've got to voice a game before. But if you compare Batman Begins to, say, Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man, it's leaps and bounds. So, but it also introduced like the whole stealth and fear thing that goes on in the Arkham games. And what's brilliant about it was that it's technically the first Arkham game, because Dark Knight was meant to be a licensed game as well, but unfortunately they pulled the plug on that, I think based on Heath Ledger's death. And so they said, well, we don't want to do that. We think that would just be insensitive of us to just replace Heath Ledger in voice and to put his image back out there on a game, and we just don't want to do it. But that doesn't mean they took ideas away from it. And of course, one of the big ideas was the stealth mechanics, the fear mechanics, and that you can see the influence that Batman Begins has on the Arkham games because they did it in Batman Begins first. So, is Batman Begins anywhere near the level of the Arkham games? Absolutely not. But is Batman Begins fantastic for a licensed game? 100%, because we've all played a James Bond licensed game where they're okay at best. Or I'm trying to think of other licensed games that we might have played now. What else have we played that was based on a film? You said you played Punisher, and you said that was awful, didn't you?
The Punisher game is terrible. I don't know how anyone enjoyed it. I mean, even at the time, I think that was a bad game. I mean, for an idea of how good... I mean, I'm not a huge Batman fan. That's not to say I'm not a fan of Batman. I am. I can really appreciate it, and I fully appreciate sort of the whole realm of that character in that world. But that game was phenomenal. That would be in the probably like in my top 10 game list of all time. And I'm not a Batman fan like you are. You know what I mean? So that should speak volumes, really.
It's yes. As I said, I have struggled for this list because normally I'm just like with what I play whatever's mainstream. But yeah, I think the only one that I'm going to contribute is probably that one, Batman Begins for the PlayStation 2. Absolutely love it.
Well, the only thing I will say is it's ironic because, whenever I have to sort of pressure wash or jet wash any of like the garden around the back, get the slabs all looking nice and clean, Lauren's nowhere to be found. But in terms of games that have no right being good, Lauren, is there another game on that list?
You've been having a sneaky peek at my list again. How dare you? Well, I was going to say it's a game developed by Future Lab, which was actually published by Square Enix, which you wouldn't quite expect. Released in 2022, and it is Power Wash Simulator. Now, it is the most satisfying game I have ever played, period. Like, unless you've tried it yourself and spent more than 10 minutes playing it, you'll get exactly what I mean. It's got this weird gameplay loop that you just can't help but get sucked into. So you start obviously power washing something small. I think it's a car for the first one, right? And you think, how much fun can this be? This looks a bit boring. You put your nozzle on, it starts to tell you about all the different extensions and cleaners you've got. You think, yeah, all right, this is going to be a load of rubbish. Oh my goodness, you start washing the car. I think I'm building up a good picture here. And every little component of the car you wash, it gives you the most satisfying sound effect you've ever heard in your life. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like a little ka-ching every time you 100% clean an element, and then you start craving another ka-ching and another one, and by the time you've done, you've played 40 hours of Power Wash Simulator.
I've got to say, I don't know if it's just because you're my wife, but that got very sensual in the description of that game.
A little bit, yeah.
That's how much I enjoy
Sounded
it.
like I was listening to like a Marks and Spencer's advert. This isn't just a Power Wash Simulator.
Also,
this is where you get perfect straight lines, Power Wash Simulator.
I also like how you start off with something small, a car, and I was thinking, a car's pretty big.
Not in Power Wash Simulator. Wait till you start cleaning the playgrounds and the don't look at me like that, and the fire stations, and yeah, it gets really good. Like, I would say to anyone, if you have never played Power Wash Simulator, you have got to give it a go. Like, I just don't know how to describe it. Scratches and itch in your brain, right? That until you play the game, you never knew you had. That's all I can say.
Do you know, I used to have a pressure washer, and I once was trying to clean a fence with it, and it started ripping parts of the wood off the fence, right? And then for some reason, my brain, this is probably like 15 years ago, and my brain went, I wonder what happened if I put my hand over that and fired it. It really, really hurt. So it was basically a weapon. And I think that brings us into our second topic of Dorian. What's your favourite video game weapon?
Well, that was smooth.
Thanks.
It was smooth, but I don't know. Lauren did it first. I see what you're trying to do here. You're trying to be like, right, I've got to up my game now. Sorry,
it still wasn't as good, was it? It still wasn't as good.
You can't best that. No.
All right, but Dorian, what's your favourite video game weapon? Topic 2.
Is it my turn now? All right, then, I guess. So this is a. I've got three picked out for this one. I'm going to save my best to last. So this may be slightly controversial. When everyone's playing Doom, they normally go for one of two weapons. They'll either go for the super shotgun, which is your double barrel 12 gauge thing, and people love that because it's just so powerful. But there's obviously you're limited to those two shots. Then you got to reload. There's that whole gap where you can't do anything unless you swap weapons. Or people will go for the BFG, one shot, clear the room, beautiful. I disagree. My personal favourite, and what I find is one of the best video game weapons, is the Doom plasma rifle. Because the sound of that thing, particularly in Doom 2016, in the original Dooms, the look of it, the sound of it, it does have that genuine sort of like futuristic kind of feel to it, but it's not overpowered like the BFG. I've got a soft spot for the Doom plasma rifle.
Not the chainsaw.
Chainsaw's one of those where it's like I've got to get up close and personal. Fair enough, but you can only take down sort of one demon at a time, and everyone's got a chainsaw. You can unlock a chainsaw in Silent Hill 2. It's always based on Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I feel like the chainsaw gets a bit too much limelight. But if I'm playing sort of a futuristic game, I want a futuristic weapon. And that's where the plasma rifle does it for me. It's just like, okay, this kind of ticks all the boxes. It's fast, it's powerful, not too powerful, and it looks cool.
Okay, what about
a
chainsaw, right? This we'll give ID Software this idea, but a chroma chainsaw.
A chroma chainsaw?
Yeah, RGB lights.
Oh my god. You could do that yourself. Just stick some Christmas lights around the belt and just watch it go.
Just some salt and vinegar.
When you fancy a snack.
You've got to eat it really quick.
Yeah.
I'd say the risk versus reward is quite...
Some crisps are really sharp, and the salt and vinegar is just to add to the burn as you're cutting through things.
All right, so even the win, you've got a risk of losing your nose trying to eat it whilst the chainsaw's going round, but, even so...
But they're really salty, these crisps.
Yeah. There you go. ID Software, patent that. Elliot says the RGB chroma chainsaw.
You'd sell millions.
How about yourselves?
Okay, we'll do. Let's do one each, and we'll keep going around the table. Okay, as in we'll do more than one, but let's go through our list one by one. So I would say, okay, I'm going to say the name of the weapon. I want you to both guess what it's from. The Monado.
Xenoblade.
Dorian, what's your guess?
I'm going to go with what Lauren said because I've never heard that before, but I've never played Xenoblade. And the speed at which Lauren answered, I'm like, oh, okay, she's heard enough of this.
Yeah, it's Xenoblade. Lauren, what's your favourite weapon?
Oh, is that it? You're done with that?
Yeah,
that's it. That's all. He doesn't need to talk about Xenoblade anymore.
I've done it enough. The commission, the money's coming in. It's...
Yeah, he's getting paid. My first one is a bit unexpected. Anyone who knows me knows I love the Marvel Spider-Man games, the most recent ones. And I don't know why, but one of the weapons that I had the most fun with was the web bomb of all weapons. It's probably the most boring out of all of them for most people. But it's this little explosive device that when Spider-Man throws it, it webs multiple people in one go and pulls them all together. And then you can attach them to walls or the roof or the floor, or you can then pummel up and kick them in the face. I don't know, it's just really satisfying. I'm not quite sure why that's one of the weapons, but it's one of the weapons I remember that I just for some reason use the most. I'm Spider-Man, I want to web things up.
I think I'm not sure if I remember the web bomb. Maybe I'm thinking of a different weapon because I've only played the first Spider-Man game and Miles Morales. I've not played 2, but I think there was a web mine where you could stick it to either walls or a ceiling, and if someone walked in proximity, it'd just kind of pull them and then stick them to that surface. It's not the same one, is it?
It's not the same one. There's two different ones. There is the one you're thinking of that will stick them to the walls, but there's also a web bomb. The web bomb is the one that pulls the enemies together, so it'll get enemies within a certain radius and it'll pull them towards the bomb and web them up. It only webs them for a short amount of time though.
Quick question, Sony
I
Paddies.
don't remember the web bomb. That's good. Go on then.
Is that on Nintendo or Xbox?
No.
No.
Ah, right, okay.
That's why he knows nothing about it.
Yeah.
Okay, Dorian. What's your...
The Spider-Man did come out on the PC, so it's not necessarily a PlayStation exclusive. So if you've not played it, it is out there on a platform that you do indeed interact with, or at least used to, because now you're a Nintendo boy, aren't you?
Guilty. What's your second favourite?
So my choice number 2. I think there's probably the sci-fi nerds and the horror nerds will agree with me on this. The Dead Space Plasma Cutter. Very, very satisfying weapon. And it's the idea that you don't just point and shoot. You've got to be precise with it. Because in the game, these necromorphs, they're already dead. There's no point shooting them in the chest or in the head because they will just keep getting back up. Whereas if you cut off the limbs by shooting them precisely at the shoulder or the leg or something like that, they'll go down, but they'll keep crawling towards you. So then you've got to get another 3-4 shots in to make sure that all of the limbs are cut off. It's a very satisfying thing to do, but it's not like a slow laser. It's a very quick one. So it is kind of like firing a gun, I guess. Again, the look of it, you do get the sense that it is a tool. It's not meant to be used as a weapon, but as you upgrade it, it becomes more and more powerful. You can get through the first game, I believe. I've done it. You can get through the first game with just the plasma cutter, and the more you upgrade it with your little nodes, the more badass it becomes. It's a great little weapon. There are other very satisfying weapons in the game. But then you obviously, later on you'll get your mines and you'll get your flamethrower, and you think, oh, I've seen all those before. But the plasma cutter was genuinely original. But what I liked about it was it felt like a precision tool, which it is in its universe, that you then have to like make do with, and you go, right, okay, this is all I've got, and this is how I'm going to survive. So yeah.
Do you think they?
My choice number 2, Dead Space plasma cutter.
Do you think they could have taken inspiration from the gravity gun from Half-Life 2?
No, I don't think so at all, because they've got completely different mechanics. Because the cool thing about the gravity gun is that you can pick up anything and be like, right, what can I use as a weapon? Oh, I'm going to use this piece of wood. I'm going to use that barrel. I'm going to use that saw blade. So I think they're in completely different leagues, because the plasma cutter only has one job, cut. Whereas the gravity gun, you're like, right, I'm going to throw everything in the room at this thing that needs to die.
True.
And you can even use that as a tool. Like, you can stack stuff and be like, right, that's my escape. That's my route out of this room using this tool.
I was just thinking Ravenholm saw blades just, whizzing zombies in half. I don't know, yeah. That is a pretty cool one.
There is a weapon in Dead Space that does do that. So I can't remember what kind of cutter it is, but it will do one of two things, because you kind of can control gravity to a certain extent in Dead Space, and there is a chain, like a buzz saw version of that, where it will do one of two things. Its main fire is it will continue to spin a saw blade in like a gravity tether, so you can walk around spinning the saw blade, or the secondary fire is it will just launch the saw blade straight at whatever's moving in the distance. So I would say that the gravity gun's probably closer to that. So the one that you're thinking, there is a weapon that does that exact thing in Dead Space.
I need to play Dead Space at some point, and I still don't think I've ever properly given that a go. I would say my second favourite video game weapon then is, and it's in 2 games, but I'm mostly referring to the latter, is the bow and arrow in Oblivion and Skyrim. There is nothing more satisfying than when you're playing like a stealth archer and you line that up, and of course it follows the arrow in slow motion. You get that satisfying hit, and you could be 200 hours onto the game and it's still as satisfying as the first time you did it. So yeah, I would say that's my second favourite video game. There's not much else to say really with that one. I didn't go too much into the Monada because there's a lot of lore and stuff into that, but yeah, come on, the bow and arrow man in those games is great.
So I do want to play Skyrim again with a bow and arrow, but my main problem is that I used to struggle enough with some of the like the Draugrs, especially the boss ones at the end of dungeons, and I'd have my fire spells ready, I'd have my healing spells ready, or I'd have my double ebony swords and be like, right, come at me. I feel like if you're not level 1,000 with a bow and arrow, that you've lost that fight. Unless you like keep your distance the entire time. Do you not find that the bow and arrow is a hindrance in some fights?
No, not at all. Because what you can do is if you sneak. So if they're sort of, they like lay in the caves, don't they? They sort of lay in little alcoves. You can actually shoot them before they even wake up. So what you do is if you know this area where the boss is going to be, or you think there is, you can take all of the others out before that one spawns. Then you've just got to focus on that one. So there are times I usually then have like a short sword or something which I will switch to, but I've usually done so much damage with the bow and arrow that the short sword's just sort of to finish them off really. So it's kind of I mean the bow and arrow in most games I love. I mean I could talk about Zelda bow and arrow for days as well, but I'm gonna bow out as they're my two. That's my list. What about you, Lauren? What's your second?
Well, I was going to go for like your obvious, like your Buster Sword from Final Fantasy or your Keyblade from Kingdom Hearts, because obviously they're quite obvious staple choices. But I thought I'd go for the most enraging video game weapon in history. And I'm not sure it's going to be what you expect, but I'll picture the scene. You're having a lovely time in first place. The wind's in your hair. There's no one behind you for about 20 miles. And then what appears in the sky? Just a little blue shell, just to come and ruin your life. And I am, of course, talking about the blue shell in Mario Kart. The worst video game weapon, I think, that has ever been invented.
Can I just add something onto that? Whenever we play, I'm always the one in first place getting absolutely tanked by a blue shell, usually one you've thrown. So is that why it's your favourite?
We agreed we weren't going to talk about that.
All right, okay.
We don't need to shame me while we're here.
No, not at all. I just thought that's your favourite weapon. That's wise, because you just, take me out.
It's my favourite 99% of the time, but the one time I'm in first place and you use a blue shell, it's the worst weapon in the world.
It's a very love-hate relationship.
You're on about
With
the blue shell?
The blue shell. Not between, yeah.
I did wonder for a second then.
Funny that when we were first early courting, we went to an arcade. I think was it in Blackpool or something like that.
Yeah, it was in Blackpool.
And it had a Mario Kart like racing arcade machine, and I think we'd already done like a couple of races, and I won both because I'm a bit of a kart racing nerd. Absolutely love kart races. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna, I need to best impression. I'll deliberately back off and let Lauren win on this one, And then you should have, the gloating, you should have heard. I'll just say, you're rubbish. I'm well better than you. Of course, what did I do? Stayed like a gentleman. No, I immediately red shelled her, last corner, won, and I did the biggest.
And I didn't talk to him for about an hour after. I'm not a salty loser, honestly, though. I promise.
Worth it. But what I will say, of course, is that you're also the one that can play Demon Souls games. And what boss did I get to? You always laugh about this.
You didn't even beat the Tower Knight, which is like the first major boss in Demon Souls. Yeah, you couldn't hack it.
Skills in other areas. I can't do Demon Souls games, but you definitely can. I think you play the harder games than me and Dorian.
Love a game where you have to rub yourself up against a wall. That sounds weird, but you all know what I meant. That wasn't quite the expression, but I'm going to go with that.
What kind of games are you playing?
I think the expression was actually rub your face against a wall, but you know what? Rubbing myself against a wall does the same thing, I suppose.
That's a whole different kind of simulator.
Oh, I'm so glad that's on the internet. Lucky me. And then she never joined the podcast again. Weird that.
It's like the Nintendo Wii Fit board, but it's just a wall you yourself assemble.
This haptic feedback feels a bit weird.
I'm crying.
Dear.
Tears.
We're all into different things.
Oh, God.
All right. I'm going to move us swiftly on.
I would.
Oh, goodness me. All right. So for my third pick, probably very similar to yours, El, is for the lore behind it, because you don't really get to use this weapon until the third game. Fifth rather. And that is the Soul Reaver in the Legacy of Kain. It's a very cool looking sword. But the sword, it is very overpowered in the game itself, but you only really get to use it at the end of Soul Reaver 2 and throughout the fifth game, Defiance, as Kain. But the reason I like it is not because of how you use it, a sword is a sword, but it's the lore behind it, because all of the events that occur and the histories that change is purely because of the sword, how the sword comes to be, and how the sword becomes empowered with the ability to reave souls. It's the fulcrum at which the entire continuity of Legacy of Kain turns. So, yeah, just a quick I'll not go too deep into it, but Legacy of Kain's Soul Reaver sword is my third and final pick.
Love that. Again, in the arcade today, we were talking about you there's a chap there who makes 3D printed game signs, and they are phenomenal, aren't they? They are next. It sounds, when you say 3D printed, I think it kind of downplays them a little bit. They are immense. And
no, they're great quality. I've got a few of them.
They're really good. And yeah, we were talking about you and Legacy of Kain on there. So yeah, I think it's funny, really, isn't it? Mine's the Xenoblade. Yours is 100% Legacy of Kain.
Yeah.
So moving on then, shall we do This Day in Gaming?
Let's indeed. So we're going to head over to Moby Games. We are on, as a recording, the 8th of February, 2026. Sorry for
2026.
Gone to Moby Games.
that was such a news presenter.
2026. Thank you. Most search games. Oh, what am I looking for here? Hang on.
So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out, I think, my favourite from the list. We're approaching about 45 minutes, so I think we should all pick one favourite from this list and explain why it's our favourite. So I think I've got mine. Lauren, have you got yours yet?
Yeah, I've got mine.
Okay.
I'm just scanning through this list now. You guys go for it.
Okay, no worries. For me then, 16 years ago, and Jesus wept, that makes me feel old, BioShock was released. Now, Lauren, I'd love you to play BioShock. but it's first person, so it's not especially your scene. But BioShock was, I think Dorian, this is almost more of a you game, typically out the box. Very.
I've played all the BioShock games. I love the BioShock games. It is one of those, however, where it first came out, I didn't have a copy, but my dad did. So whenever I was babysitting my little sisters, I'd go to play it, but I didn't have a save, so I'd repeat the intro over and over again. When you pick up a game and you've played the intro so many times, you just go, oh, this again. BioShock has become that for me. But I do remember, because I think it was the first Xbox 360 game I ever witnessed, and my dad fell in love with it. I went over to his and he showed it me and he said, look at this. And I just went, whoa. Is this what games could look like? I fell in love with it. It was brilliant.
Really was. And it still is. And it's also on Nintendo. I know. But yeah, it's so eerie and like it's scary, but not necessarily jump scare. The first one, it's just so weird. It like gets into your head. I mean, games released today, I was also looking... Well, I won't mention any others because it might be one of yours, I doubt it, but there's another few Nintendo titles on there that were close, but no, BioShock, brilliant. I last year completed BioShock Infinite, and I really enjoyed that one as well, but yeah, BioShock 1, just weird, eerie. If you want something to take you out of your current stresses in life, that's a good one, because... it's so awful it makes you think your life's great. But yeah, a great one. Lauren, what is your favourite game of this day in gaming?
I have gone for a little known game that was released 2 years ago on PC and PlayStation 5, and that is Helldivers 2. Can you believe that is 2 years old already?
2 years already? Wow.
That is absolute madness, and I feel like it was a game that took a lot of people by surprise, because obviously it was very different than its predecessor. I can't say that word, but you know what I mean. And everyone got on board and everyone loved it, and suddenly in gaming, which is a very rare thing now, everyone was coming together to play this great game together, and it became this big community where obviously we were doing everything for Super Earth and for democracy. And I think in that time it was great to have something like that come along that was so different than everything else, where for a change everyone was working together as opposed to everyone working against each other. I just thought that was a really different take on a way that you can do a co-op or a competitive game like that, and I just thought it was fantastic.
I thought you were either going to go with a drone delivery simulator or looking for cats in a badly drawn forest, so that surprised me.
Yeah, it's a different... Yeah.
Looking for cats in a badly drawn forest.
Yes, what a great game. But no, Helldivers 2 is brilliant. I think we've been trying to convince Dorian to buy that for X amount of...
For 2 years, by the looks of it.
Yeah. It's a game you would really enjoy, I think, Dorian, as well. It's good fun.
It's on my list as one of those that I definitely want to play, but it's just the price of new games at the moment. It's especially with the wedding coming up. We've just booked the photographer. We're still looking for a DJ. That we're still waiting for the recommendations for a DJ. All of the decorations to stuff. That's part of the reason why I didn't go to Comic-Con today or today's market, because I had the boy to myself, taking care of a 3-year-old in that kind of environment. No thanks. But also just because we're trying to watch the pennies while the expenses are slowly racking up.
So if you'd like to donate to Dorian's wedding, dial 012.
If you'd like to donate, Dorian.
Donate Dorian. No, we're going back to the Nintendo wall again. Let's stop.
It's getting weird again.
Let's move on.
It's getting weird again.
So, my choice... When was it not weird? Come on. Yeah. My choice is... makes me very sad.
Just to bring us back down.
Purely for its... Yeah, exactly. I'm a big fan of Wipeout. I love the Wipeout games. I have a good chunk of them. I've got the Omega Collection. I've got some of the originals. I've got Wipeout 2097 that my fiancée got me for my birthday. I've got Wipeout 3 Special Edition, which I used to watch my dad play for hours on end. But Wipeout Fusion, which was the PlayStation 2 release, came out 24 years ago today in 2002. It's old enough to drink, it's old enough to drive, it's old enough to have a family. That depresses me very much that a game that looks that good is now 24 years old. I will say that it's probably the worst out of all the Wipeout games, but that doesn't necessarily make it a bad game. It's still a lot of fun. It has a really good soundtrack, great gameplay, and for our listeners, I know that Elliot has been calling himself the kart king and the racing king for a long time. Elliot has never beaten me on a Wipeout game.
Right. Okay.
He leant forward and everything. This is serious, everyone.
In March, we were going to be organising. We were between a couple of different things. So we were going to go to sort of the Leeds Gaming Market. No, that's where we've been today. Leeds Arcade Club. Or I was thinking of organising kind of like a mega day and evening of like party games at our place. And I think you're just making me want to beat you at Wipeout. You tell me which version it is. You give me a month to play it, and you're on.
You can have whatever version you want. I've got 2097, Wipeout 3 Special Edition, Fusion, Pure, HD, Fury, the Omega Collection. Take your pick. You will not win.
I'll get back to you. Leave that with me. Between Zelda and Pokemon, I'm going to slip some Wipeout in there. That sounded... Anyway, right.
Weird again.
Lauren, what have you done?
I'm sorry.
This is your fault.
Yeah, we were, what I'm just going to say is when I was looking at that Wipeout game, if you scroll up to 25 years ago, so 2001, there is a Kill the Dog from Duck Hunt, which is like, what have you done to my boy?
Oh my God, there is.
My Nintendo boy, what have you done?
I'm going to click on that. It says it's an in-browser game as well. That's mortifying.
Isn't it just? Yeah. I don't think I don't want to... Anyway, Right, so on that note, if you're happy to, we are up to 52 minutes. So I hope you've enjoyed me being your host for the last couple of episodes. We are going to return back to our usual sort of screening of recording, however you'd like to call it, to Dorian next week. Thank you, Lauren, for joining for this week.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, Lauren.
Yeah, thank you as always, Dorian. And if you are enjoying the podcasts, please leave a comment on whatever you listen to, be that YouTube, be that Spotify. We do go through and read them. I think we say this every week. Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed, and we shall see you next week.
And please be careful if you're rubbing yourself up against walls. Just a little disclaimer there for everybody.
What have we become?
Wall pod.
Oh, dear.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.